ground shake.
All right, guys, what's up? It's Brian here, Brian's Lawn Maintenance, hanging out with your Brandon. What's up, dude?
How you doing?
Good, man. What's up, man? We just got done pounding some Taco Bell.
Yeah?
I said I want to do an interview with you with your 1-year review running and starting your own lawn care landscaping business. And my little carrot out there to do this was buying you Taco Bell.
Right, yeah.
So like a good friend, you know, put good food in the system,
Definitely
right?
full is good, so.
I love it. So we have actually just, you know, been working. It's crazy. We just literally finished up cleanups like a week and a half ago.
Yep.
It is just after Christmas and the holidays. So
There's still guys out doing cleanups too. We saw a few trucks go by with their debris loaders.
It's true. It's just been a crazy year. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to all you guys, and Happy New Year whenever you're watching this video and all that fun stuff. But a lot of you guys know that about a year ago, we did an interview at Big B Coffee, and we were going to do it there, but we realized that they had shut down.
Right.
So we're just going to do this in the truck. I wanted to do a video, maybe just encouraging any of you guys that are thinking about starting a lawn care landscaping business, or you're in your first or second year, or quite honestly, you're like some folks stuck in a dead-end job in corporate America. You're thinking about starting a lawn care landscaping business, and maybe 2019 is going to be the year for you.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about what he did over the last 10 to 12 months. I do have some notes here, so it's going to be fun. I've got things like we're going to talk about the season debrief, lessons learned. Was it as hard as you thought? Maybe just some other helpful tips as well.
Yeah, along the way too. If I come up with anything, I'll throw that in there too. Right.
I like it. All right, so let's give context, because context is everything. You're 26?
Just turned 26 on the 17th of December.
Nice.
So.
Did your insurance go down? You know, the whole deal?
I don't know.
I
don't pay attention anymore. So.
I love it. All right, so this same time last year, you were thinking about starting your own business, right?
Yep.
You already kind of laid a lot of groundwork, but tell them December through kind of January, February, March,
what I did to kind of just prepare for the following year.
What was the groundwork? Because you hadn't quit your job just yet, and you were deciding whether or not you still wanted to go all in.
Right, and honestly, like that winter was like, I was like, you know, already in business. Like it was full time. I was figuring out, you know, calling the city ordinances, like, hey, what do I need to pull permits for? Figuring out my marketing material, what equipment I'm going to need for my first year, just kind of basic tools, what it's going to cost me,
logo design, marketing,
right, everything. So it was good. It was busy, but that's basically all I did all winter, was just learn and figure out what I got to do to, you know, make this thing legit and not get myself in any trouble. So
you were doing all that December, January, February. You didn't quit your job just yet, though.
No, I was still employed, and I went back for the beginning of spring, whatever you wanted to call that. And my first job with the business was the 27th of April, and I quit about 3 weeks before that.
So you were doing concrete.
Yep.
And you had done that for what? 8 years?
7 or 8 years, yep.
So when people always talk about, should I start my own business and should I do the whole deal? I'm like, it takes a lot of work. Right. But you come from concrete, and your work ethic was very impressive to me. Yeah. Way even more impressive than mine. Like people think I work hard. You were already kicking butt. So I already knew you had like the work ethic thing done.
Right.
You just needed to connect the dots, fill out the corner puzzle pieces, get some X's and O's. So yeah, we did have a really late season, like you said. It was funny because you were going to quit your job, but concrete called you back, and you were already working for them for a few weeks.
Yes.
So tell them how that was, because you were joking to me earlier, like you were there, but like you weren't there.
Yeah. So basically, I was just like a zombie. I was a ghost. Like, I was there, but I wasn't physically there. My mind was not there. My mind was, when's this weather gonna break? When can I quit my job? Oh, it's nice out today. I should be out passing out postcards. I don't have a single job lined up. Am I doing the right thing? Do I stay here? Do I do this?
You're freaking
out. I knew what to do at my job, but I wanted nothing to do with it. I didn't care. It was probably not fair to the company, because I, as an employee at the time, was not profitable for them. I just didn't do anything. And
you were checked out.
I was completely checked out.
So this was like March, April, and you were going all in.
Right.
Because you and I had talked so much. You had seen what I've done the last decade. You had been more helping me the last 3 or 4 years, filling in the cracks and helping me on the side and hustling with me. And you have been watching hundreds and hundreds of videos and podcasts and all this other crap.
Right.
So you had a lot of head knowledge. You were ready to rock and roll.
I was ready.
This wasn't like, hey, I'm quitting my job. I hate concrete.
No.
This was a very thought out plan.
Yes, and everything I do, I'm all chips in, and that's just, I knew I was gonna succeed, but I didn't know if I was gonna, break even with, my gross income that I made at my job, or if I was gonna take a cut, or if I was gonna pay myself, if I was gonna make money, if I was gonna lose money.
Why did you want to start your own business? Well, you were 25, you were making 50, 60 grand doing concrete. Why did you even start?
Honestly, I just don't like being told what to do. I just don't like anybody
Seems like a running
in my
theme
ear.
with
right,
guys.
probably with everybody.
Stop
but I
telling
just
me what
knew,
to do.
like, with my work ethic, what I knew, just my knowledge, I was just like, if these guys are doing it, why can't I? Like, I see these guys making, good amount of money, and I'm just here, check to check. And biggest thing for me was like, I'm living at home and I'm scraping by still, or I'm just breaking even, or I'm just, making a little bit of profit, you know what I mean? And it's just like, how do people live? How do you raise a family or support your lifestyle? And not only that, but it's something I enjoy, and I just always wanted to be my own boss. I always wanted to start my own company, and to me that's just cool. It's just something that I know that I would be good at, and something I could always like stick to, and no matter what. I want just something I can look forward to every day waking up, saying, hey, you know what, I don't mind getting up this morning because I'm going to run my business and I'm going to service my customers.
So, and you were pretty frustrated and underappreciated and undervalued at your job.
Totally.
Sounds like a running theme with a lot of people who end up, cutting ties and starting their own business. All right, so let me ask you this. I got some notes here, and one question I had was the season as hard as you thought? Like you came from a concrete background.
Yep.
So talk about work ethic and all this other stuff. A lot of people want to know, like, yeah, there's a lot of head knowledge and X's and O's and plants and materials and all this other crap, but was the actual physical work to run your own business as hard as you would have thought it was going to be?
No, it's time consuming. It's definitely time consuming.
Sure.
I knew right away, like, hey, I'm going to be working 70, 80, 100 hours a week, whatever it might be. Literally, like, the days I was doing jobs, I would work 8 in the morning to 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, and then
But then it was done. Then you were done for the day, right?
Right.
But then you were done for the day.
Well, no, I wasn't, because
I know.
After doing the physical work, then I'm out, in the dark, dirty, just exhausted, hungry, passing out postcards, for an hour or two, and then going home and putting estimates together, invoicing people. Just it never ended.
Getting this baby started, right? So you were all in. A lot of work.
Yep.
Right. But I think that's something that some people estimate is how much time and energy is going to go into, especially an infancy business, a new business. It's not 40 hours a week. This is not transition 40 hours from your job. It's like 40 hours, like any when you start your own company. And you've heard that, that you watch Instagram, everybody's got motivational speeches and talks about all this kind of stuff, until you realize, holy crap, I just did a 12-hour mulch job, and then I got to go prepare for the next day, and get the next estimate figured out, and you're up till 1 in the morning, and that's why people are like, well, landscapers and concrete and construction guys, they take 3-4 months off in the off season. I'm like, do you have any idea like how hard you actually work for those 8, 9, 10 months to make a year's of income?
And I have to say too, hands down, like, I've worked physically and like everything just a quarter of what I did with concrete out in the field, and I made more. Yep.
I like it. That's pretty sweet. So what do we got? Let me ask you this: future upgrades, and so 2018 was really good. We'll talk about 2019 in a second here, but what other kind of what equipment did you need this year? Did you have everything you needed? What are you thinking about for 2019?
Well, the biggest thing with me is I didn't do any lawn care, so I didn't need a mower or anything like that. I was basically landscape maintenance, landscape installs, just little installs. I'm only one guy, 2 hands. I can only do so much. But
was that typical of the work you did this year?
Yeah, I did a lot of like mulch, shrub trimming, tear outs, planting, little bit of like some kind of like maintenance stuff with pavers and some lawn corrections, pressure washing, a little bit of everything, kind of like whatever I could do to like just keep this thing up and going and keep the bills paid. And
did you learn a lot this year with
I learned a lot
all these little different things you got into? Now you're like now you know a lot of enough about pressure washing. Now you know a lot, not everything, about brick paper, a little bit of everything. And that's the biggest thing with me too, is I'm trying to be like systematized, because I don't want to be the guy running my business. I want to have 3, 4, 5 guys running my business. So everything I do, I use Yardbook.
for my software. So every job I do, I put in like, hey,
in there,
you know, with cleanups, you know, we were on Susan's house and we did the fall cleanup. Brian and I did cleanup in 2 hours, and you know, there's a price. So like, you know, once your company does grow and it goes to wherever you want it to go, for me personally, so if I got 2 guys out on the job and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, well, Brian and I, we're there for 2 hours, I might take these guys 2.5 hours or almost 3 hours because they don't know what they're doing, or they're just not as efficient as us. So, you know, you can go in and look like, oh, this job took 3 hours, like, hey guys, what happened?
Right.
You know what I mean? And
so
you can kind of figure things out and adjust prices accordingly, or whatever you got to do to be profitable and keep your business up and running and make yourself money.
So you were, what I'm gathering out of that was very attentive to how your numbers were.
Yes,
like you understood like your rates, your numbers, when you made money on jobs, probably when you maybe didn't make as much or even lost money on jobs.
I have to say, the way I positioned myself in my company, I did not lose out on any job.
Good.
Every job was very profitable for me. There was one job I did go on where I did have to do like a price adjustment, and it ended up being like an extra like 600 something bucks. But
there's a change order.
Yes. Yeah. Thankfully I had a contract for that. But it was still profitable, but it definitely needed to be a higher price, and it should have been a higher profit margin.
The side job.
Right.
What about some helpful tips? If these guys are getting started with their own company, you're 26, you're pretty boy, you're kicking butt, you're slaying dragons here, but if you had some helpful tips for these guys that are thinking about getting
more so the new guys or the guys that are looking to start?
Yeah, people are getting started the next year or two. Like, what was the biggest tip or hint or something that you underestimated was such a big determining factor of your success?
I don't think I underestimated it, because I made it happen and I knew I had to do it. I knew that was like the most, that would have been like the biggest backbone of my business to get it started and off the ground. But just marketing, like a lot of guys, they don't want to go, they don't want to go spend money on, you know, postcards or you know, flyers or door hangers, whatever they want to do, direct mailers. But I just knew that's like the key to like get your name out, to bring in work. Like a lot of guys, they see that and they'd rather go buy a nice new shiny weed whip or a nice new mower, or skid steer, whatever it might be,
or upgrade their lifestyle.
Right, exactly.
Buy clothes or go out to eat.
And I didn't pay myself a dime this year. Everything that I've made has been into the business with postcards, and I already got my budget set up for the spring for my marketing and, you know, what I'm gonna do for next year.
Sure. So marketing was probably your biggest thing that you went all in on, more than almost anything.
Yeah.
You didn't buy a bunch of equipment, a bunch of stupid stuff you didn't need, right?
As much as I would love to go buy, you know, a nice new shiny truck, a nice dump trailer, but I just know I just gotta, you know, stay lean and keep my debt down for now, because you never know. Next year, it could be a little dip in the economy and I don't make as much, so why have a bunch of debt? You know, it just doesn't make sense. I still want to, you know, be able to service my customers and bring on more customers. So, you know.
So let me ask you this. So marketing was your biggest tip. So people should invest more into marketing than they probably would estimate they need initially.
Right. Yep.
So, and you spent a lot of money in marketing.
It's fairly cheap. Like,
it is cheap.
That's the only way you're going to make money with your business, is like market yourself. If nobody knows your company, like everybody says, like obscurity is the biggest enemy that you're going to face your first few years in business.
Like Grant Cardone?
I don't know. Is that what he says?
Yeah, that's Grant Cardone.
Well, whatever. But that's literally the biggest thing. And like, what I did was I flyered every month. Yeah. I picked out 10, 12 subdivisions that I knew I wanted to be in. I saw a lot of companies in there, so I knew there was a high demand for that work. That's not competition. That's like a sign, like, hey, this is the area I need to hit, because there's a lot of guys in this area and it's a good market for it. And that's worked great for me, and that's what I did. And so I just marketed every month.
All right, so we talked about marketing as your biggest tip. What does 2019 look like for you? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to grow the company more, acquire new customers? You were saying you wanted to keep good customers.
Yeah. I already have customers that are going to be reoccurring for next year. I already have them on schedule for next year. But that's the biggest
work
thing.
For next year, basically.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's huge.
That's the biggest thing with me, is like a lot of guys, like, yes, sales is huge, but they're looking to make a sale. They're not looking to acquire a customer, and that customer is an asset because that's your customer base. Like, hey, you have all these 60 customers, we're going to be doing aerations, we're going to be doing overseeds. All these customers are going to get that information now, and 10, 20, 30 of them are going to want that service, and so it's just guaranteed work. You know, every season it's just building, you know, the customer relationship.
So let me ask you this. It sounds like you've been drinking a lot of the Brian Kool-Aid. Okay, so let me ask you this. What's the difference between a customer and a client?
A customer to me is just obviously like a one-time service.
So a transaction.
Right.
A sale.
Yep.
But what's a client then?
A client is, you know, somebody that you build a relationship with, and you just service them for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, however long they keep you, or how long ever.
Are you looking for more customers or more clients?
Clients.
So this is the kind of stuff where a lot of, and good answer by the way, and I only asked that because I drill this guy. Like we spent hundreds of hours on your brain, and that's why I do all these videos, is to teach you guys how to think. It's not X's and O's to be self-employed or to run along your landscape business. You get a mower, you get a weed whip, you get a blower, you start working, and you're making money. But it's the mentality, it's the thought process of being self-employed and being disciplined.
That's the biggest thing for a lot of people is, and I'm still trying to break it because I was an employee for 8 years or whatever it was, longer than that actually, like 10 years. And anybody can do the work, but nobody can run the business. So like, it's two different jobs. Like, you need a group of people running the business on the back end, and you need a group of people doing the work. Right. And that's like what I'm trying to like break from, is doing the work, and I'm trying to get more into, you know, doing estimates, dealing with customers, invoicing, stuff like that, all the back end stuff that I don't want to do after working all day in 90-degree weather, but I still have to do it because it has to be done.
Nobody understands and it doesn't have to be like this, but nobody understands the invoicing at midnight and all the estimates you put together.
And all the emails you got to send out.
Hundreds of emails and phone calls, right? And that's the thing, like I run my lawn business, my YouTube channel, you know, I'll stay married, I got a beautiful wife I like to take care of, working out. I mean, it's just, it never ends. People are like, how many hours a week do you work? I'm like, there's 168 hours a week. You take 40, 60 out for sleeping. Basically, the other 120, I always do something fun with the business. And it's not like hard or tough. It's just, you always need to be mentally sharp. It's not hard
because it's something you enjoy doing. You're passionate about it. And that's like me. Like, I hated getting up, going to my job. And now I'm up early and I'm like, oh, I want to go work. You know what I mean? Oh, I can't start till 8. Like, I don't want to make any neighbors mad. And it's just something I was not miserable once this year.
So do you ever have apprehension still, or like fear or anxiety of like your business is not succeeding or having to go back to your job? Like the security mindset versus an independent mindset, like whether it's self-employed or having a 9-to-5?
Definitely.
How was that this year for you? The mental ping pong.
It was tough. It was up and down all times of the year, and
sometimes you're slaying dragons.
Day.
Other times you're like, what am I doing with my life?
Right. It's like, you know, maybe it would be easier to go back and just be an employee and just have somebody telling me what to do, and you know, let them deal with the estimates and invoicing and all that stuff that you got to do in the back end. And but at the end of the day, at the end of the year, it's a good feeling because, I mean, not to brag, but like next year, like what's in my business? I didn't pay myself a single dime this year. What's in my business account? Covers me all next year. So if like a downfall did happen in the economy, I'm fine. All my assets are covered.
See, on my channel, we actually care about helping other people succeed, and I still believe in capitalism and free enterprise and profit. And if you don't like that, you're on the wrong channel, because I don't have any problem with you guys succeeding and making $250,000 a year. And if you have a bigger business than I do, I don't give a rip either. My goal is to help you guys grow a more successful lawn care landscaping business so you can crush it. And that means learning from guys like him, learning from guys like you. I learn from every single one of you guys, and it inspires me to do better. And so there's nothing wrong with being 26 and making you made 50, 60 grand doing concrete. You made way more than that this year, and you're really excited about that. And not gross numbers, because there's always somebody's gonna go, well, gross numbers are really cool. Would you make a net profit? A, what does it care? But B, he made more than what you're probably thinking, so it doesn't really matter. So the reality is that stop caring what he's doing, stop caring what I'm doing, stop looking left and right, and get busy doing your own thing, and start kicking butt. And hopefully that's where in this channel, I'm teaching a lot of X's and O's and the basics of the business, but I really hope you guys appreciate the thought process to help you understand how to run your business
and the work that needs to be put into it. Like,
sure,
I almost can't even stand just sitting around anymore. Like, whether I'm doing something like with the business or, you know, getting ready for next year, listening to podcast, just learning in general. Like, I'm always learning something, no matter what time of the day.
So 2018 was a good year.
Yep.
Are you glad you did it?
Very glad.
Okay, a lot of fears, a lot of firsts, a lot of apprehension, but you pushed through it.
Yep.
Lot of good thought process that you had, good foundation.
Yeah.
This wasn't like you're quitting your job and I'm gonna go start a concrete business or a landscape business.
Right.
It was very thought out. I think if I had to put a little bow on it and wrap this thought up, it was that everything you did was very intentional, very thoughtful. You had good people around you.
Yep. And I didn't rush it. Like, I just, because like I said, it's been a thought for years now, but I just knew it's going to come to a time where I just know it's right. I have a gut feeling and I know it's right. And that was it. It was the right time, and it was the right time because I did very well, and it's only going to grow from here.
Last thought, because this will be a nice little bow. Describe the phone call you gave to me when you quit your job.
Describe it?
Yeah.
Well, I remember
exactly
going in and quitting, and
so what happened? Explain the last hour before you quit.
It was emotional.
Okay. Why was it emotional?
Just like breaking away from it. Like, you know, this is it. Like, I'm quitting my job, and I was with that company for like 3 or 4 years. So, like, you know, knowing all these guys and knowing the owners, it was a good group of people. But I just didn't enjoy what I did, and you know, it's hard. It's almost like we're with these guys every day, all day, and you go and quit your job and you break away from that check. And
what did you do? You walked into the office?
It was like, no, I like literally pulled into the office, and like, as soon as I pulled in, one of the owners, he was like unloaded something out of his vehicle, and I was like, oh great. You know what I mean? And he's like staring at me because he knew like something was going on, because he's like, oh, Brandon never comes to the office. And so I get out, and he's like kind of just looks at me. He's like, hey Brandon. He's like,
what's up?
Everything okay? What's going on? And I was like, hey Wayne. And then his brother came out, the other owner, and
made it even more awkward.
Made it more awkward, and I just like kind of told him like, hey, like, I hate to do this, and like then I got teared up and I quit, and they were like, no, like, dude, that's great. Like, if you ever need a job, you're always welcome back here. We know the type of worker you are and what you do for us, and we appreciate all you've done. And that was basically it. And
I think you called me.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's up, dude? And I'm like, what's up, man? And I could hear the shaky rattliness in your voice. I go, you all right? And you're like, yeah, I'm good. You're like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like, are your eyes sweaty right now? You're like, yeah, I'm good. You're like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm like, good for you, dude. And then
that was just like a huge weight. Just like was off my shoulder, and
you cut ties. And you went to work.
That was the hardest part. Was just like, the easy work is like actually like going in, doing the work, and like starting the business. But the hardest part was like actually breaking away from my full-time job.
That's cool, man.
But it was the best thing I ever did, and I wouldn't change it for anything. And you know, I wish I would have known what I know now, you know, when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, like a lot of these other guys getting in business. But you know,
I remember who was the go for it guy? You ever see that old guy on like lawn site? He's like, this is your year to start a lawn care business, so go for it. And I remember that guy. That was horrible. It was horrible. That's like old school YouTube and internet. But all right, we're done. We're cutting off. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, shoot a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. But thank you for opening up and sharing.
Anytime. I would love to, you know, keep sharing my thoughts with you guys.
For an hour.
Yeah, we could go in an hour or two easily.
The same time next year.
Maybe throughout the winter we'll just keep posting a few
some updates,
few stuff. Yeah, we'll come up with different ideas, and
the same time next year we'll do another one.
Help people through the winter, you know.
Yeah, well, in 2019 or 2020, whatever it is, we'll do another one.
Yeah, when I got 5 trucks, 20 employees.
Yeah. I'm like, 2019 was a pretty good year, right? He comes up with your new Lambo. I'm like, dude, whatever, man. It took you 2 years to do what it took me 12. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're a franchise now.
Yeah, right. Go worldwide. Envision worldwide. All right, now taking investors. All right, guys, that's it. We're over and out. Hope you guys have a great day. And if you enjoy this one, like I said, shoot a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you guys are new, and we will catch you guys on the next video. Bye.